Outer Orange.
Hello guys and welcome back to another Orange Peels. It is officially almost the end of October. By the time you're seeing this, by the time I record this, probably gonna be a little bit of a different time frame as I'm recording this earlier than October is actually ending because I'm gonna be in Florida for Golden Phoenix Games. So I'm recording it a little bit early, but we're here to discuss things that are not related to Card Fight Vanguard. So let's go ahead and go into some of those things. I'm gonna start with manga. An Incredible Case of Love. Now, this one I'm not as crazy about as the other one I picked up, but it's decent. So this is decent to me. Now, if you're really into doctors and love and all that jizzy jazz, then you're probably gonna like this more than I personally enjoyed. It's not terrible. The story is pretty much about this girl right here, this one right here. She meets a guy 5 years prior to this starting. She meets a guy that helps her save a person that they randomly find in the street somewhere. He saves her and she's like, oh my god, this guy's amazing, blah blah blah, and she decides, I want to be a doctor just like this guy, I want to be just like him. So she spends 5 years of her life, 5 years of life doing that. She studies all this stuff, becomes a nurse, meets him again, and then finds out that he's kind of a douchebag now. So she doesn't really like him anymore, but she still wants to be a nurse, and pretty much the story just kind of goes off from there of them being friends with the doctor and hospital environment going on as she's making friends there. You know, she's got her stuff like on the side, she's got him to worry about, and also fun fact, they live in the same apartment. When she moves to her new place for her job, she happens to live in the same apartment as him and even on the same floor. Like, so they're in the same apartment building, same floor. So they see each other a lot. Long story short, go figure. Kind of very typical of something like this, but that's pretty much the whole story. It's pretty decent so far. Like I said, I only read the first book and maybe the other books are better. I'm not crazy about it, but it's decent. I probably won't continue collection-wise. I'll probably read it online somewhere to see if it's worth picking up, because I'm one of those people where I usually pick up full physical copies if it's worth reading. And so far, this one's kind of, I'm in the middle of, like, I've read better, I've read worse type of thing. This one's like kind of in between. But one I have been enjoying a lot is actually this one. And actually this series right here that I have in my hand that you haven't seen yet is a series that I thought was gonna suck. It's actually a brand new series. It just recently came out. The third volume isn't even out yet. I have the first two, but the third volume isn't out. It's actually coming out at the end of November. And yeah, it's called the Golden Japanesque, I think is how you say it. A Splendid Yokohama Romance. So very, very pretty. So when I first looked at these, I only really picked them up because I like the traditional style art of this, and I also like the way inside the book this is during a time when it's during like the 1800s or something like that. They don't really give you a specific date, but I assume it's like 1800s, 1900s, because they're kind of aware of, like, they're kind of past the point of like super olden times. It's like right before technology is a thing. That's kind of where these seem to be going, because like books are printed, English is a thing. Like they're kind of in that time space, like where it's not too far back. I really like this series so far. Like I said, it's pretty new still, so there's still a lot to go for it. But if you're really into like the shoujo aspect of just things going wrong with that drama, but have the romance, but have the cute stuff, but also have like the kind of the rich and poor type of fighting going on, this book was probably for you. It's pretty much about a girl who has her hair dyed black. Her mom, there's some stuff, they haven't really truly explained it, like exactly what happened, but pretty much she had, like, she did something with someone that made her baby be blonde and blue-eyed. And if you guys don't know, you know, in Japan, it's not very common to see a blonde and blue-eyed child. So obviously, you know, she must have done something with a foreigner, and it's frowned upon. It's not very like culture, not very Japanese culture. And obviously people are going to think of you differently because, you know, you've done something with another man from a different country, whatever. It just doesn't look very good. So she has been keeping her daughter a secret and forcing her daughter to dye her hair black this entire time. But her eyes are still blue, so she actually forces her daughter to cover her eyes all the time and be as invisible as possible. And she tries to keep her out and not outside that much, and pretty much keep her indoors. And if she does keep her outside, she has to be as covered as possible and all this stuff. That's pretty much where the story starts. But she also kind of frowns upon her daughter, where she kind of makes her daughter kind of like, oh, like you're in my way, or oh, you're always like doing something, or you're doing something that might expose me and all this stuff. So she kind of downs on her daughter quite a bit, and it's very shown from the very beginning. And like that already kind of gripped me in, because I wanted to see like how her daughter's gonna retaliate, what she's gonna do to deal with it. Anyway, along the way she meets a boy, and the boy finds out about her secret, and it kind of just starts from there. Like, he tries so hard to help her realize that it's okay to be who she is, and like the story just kind of goes from there. And of course there's like he's a super rich and she's like quotations poor, and all this stuff is kind of happening, and it just builds so well between like the poor and the rich being a thing, and like the way her black and blonde hair kind of goes back and forth, the mystery that there's some mystery behind some of the stuff that's happening on top of that, and the story just builds very well. And I think the relationship or the character build behind her and the guy is actually really well. And when I finished the second book, book, I was officially hooked. I'm not gonna spoil it, but they did a really good job at developing characters. Like they just like, I was blown away and kind of surprised with where the volume 2 went. Like I was expecting there to be a little bit of a different kind of outcome, and I was very happy to see the way they developed the characters, which is good. So I highly recommend this. Like I said, it's new, so it's still coming out. At least over here on the English side, it might already be done Japan. I don't know how many volumes it's going to be, but there's currently 4 volumes that are definitely getting printed. This being the first 2. The other 2 are currently in pre-order. One's coming November 30th, the other one's coming in January of 2022. So they're definitely coming, and it's pretty, as far as I know, I have never heard of the series in my life, and I'm a big shoujo reader. Like shoujo's like my life, and I have an entire manga shelf upstairs of this, and I've never heard of this series in my life. And trust me, I read a lot of manga online, so this is new to me. But I highly recommend it. It's very awesome. I just went a whole rant about it, if that says anything. So another series that I recently picked up that I kind of regret picking up, but I'm still gonna talk about it. It's not a book, this is a show now, but it's called Young and Hungry. And my goodness, I binge watched the heck out of the show. I just want this to be clear. And by the way, the main character of Young and Hungry is actually the side character, or the best friend in Hannah Montana. The best friend in Hannah Montana is actually her as well, which was a huge shocker to me. I was like, wow, this girl looks really familiar. Why does she look so familiar? And then I look her up and I'm like, oh, it's the same character that played in Hannah Montana. And I was like, I wasn't aware. But Young and Hungry is a story about a girl who wants to become a chef, and she tries to find a job, and it just so happens to be the super rich programmer, like really rich programmer, comes up with all this cool stuff, was looking for a chef, and he happens to just pick her as the chef, and that's pretty much the whole story from there. But the only issue is that things start going really weird from then on out, because the chef obviously likes the programmer, and I'd be fine with the show, and I'm not gonna go on a rant here. I'm about to spoil, so if you don't want to hear spoilers, please feel free to go past this point. I'll give you a timestamp of when I stop ranting about this. But what I really hate about the show, if you're watching Young and Hungry, if you're finished with it, there's two things. One, it's unfinished, and it's actually currently canceled. There's not going to be a 6th season or whatever. They're not continuing the show, so it's on a cliffhanger right now. But 2, why are all the adults so stupid in the show? Every single adult in the show is actually stupid. Like adults aren't that stupid. Like Young and Hungry is the definition of making adults look like the dumbest things in town, and that is not true. These young adults, not young adults, but adults between the ages of like 20 and 30, or 22 and 30, like something like that, because they're pretty grown-ass people, and these grown-ass people have no idea how to control their lives. Like there's so many scenarios where things could just be solved through like communicating, like saying, hey, this happened, and let's try and fix it. But instead they're like, no, we're gonna make a convoluted plan to try and fix it. Like, pretty much long story short, Young and Hungry tries to do this thing where they're trying to be teenagers, but they're adults, but they're acting like teenagers, and all their responses in a very teenage manner. But it doesn't really work because the show is adultified. Like the show is meant for like adults, but they all treat each other like they're kids. Now granted, I will admit, I actually like the show. The comedy in it is funny. The characters in it are actually not bad, aside from them being like 5-year-olds in the show, and like the overall concept of the story wise as the show goes is actually good, and the romance between like some of the characters is actually really cute and sweet. And some of the characters, like there's a manager in there, he's like an Asian dude, he's hilarious. He's like my favorite character in the entire show, along with the maid. There's also really cool. I'll have pictures. She's amazing. She's another really great character. I just hate the premise of like the main character stuff kind of happening, and them always constantly kind of circling around in like this soup of we're stupid and we don't know how to communicate, and we're just being dumb and we don't know how to communicate. Like that concept just kind of like really turns me off. But I had it as a side show as I've been coding. I've been watching it on the side and just kind of keeping it on for the little giggle here and there. But if you plan on watching the show, I don't know, man. And if you like the show, please give me like some reasons. But give me a favorite character, stuff like that. Because like I said, the show's not terrible. I think I would like it so much more if I was 16. So let's go ahead and talk about the elephant in the room, which is probably what you guys saw as my thumbnail. I haven't created a thumbnail yet, but I'm assuming the thumbnail is going to be circled around this, and that is no other than Squid Game. Now, I'm about to go into Squid Game into spoiler mode as well, so please feel free to go forward if you don't want to be spoiled by Squid Game. You probably have already seen it by now, but in case you haven't, please put forward to this timestamp right here any potential chance of being spoiled. So first of all, I just want to make it very clear that detective guy, the brother of the whole thing, is probably not dead. Now, it's possible that he's dead, but there's a thing, ever since I saw that episode, the episode happened, all this stuff, I'm just letting you guys know right now, the guy's not dead. Well, I have this philosophy as a writer, as a literal book writer, until you see the dead body, like actually see the body dead and everything, the character is not dead. And I actually had the same philosophy with the old man. If you remember episode 6, I believe, or something like that, where the old man quote unquote dies, and then, you know, funnily enough, he's not dead at the end. And I literally was like, if you don't see the body, they're not dead. And we didn't see the old man's body, and guess what? He wasn't dead. The old man was alive. So it's very possible that the detective brother will be coming back in season 2, which is probably another reason why they kept it so open-ended at the end. Well, not really open-ended, but they made it clear that there could be a potential second season. I'm not crazy about the ending. I know a lot of people aren't crazy about the ending, and some people are. I personally kind of like the idea of the main protagonist going to go see his daughter, and I kind of hated the fact that he was like, screw it, I'm going back. And, you know, after everything he's been through and trying to seek revenge and all this stuff, like, kind of, like, he could go see his daughter and then go back, you know, like, he doesn't, he can wait a second, you know, I'm sure he'll see it again, I'm sure he'll have another chance, like, and the fact that they're watching him anyway, like, he honestly could probably get back into the game without having it to be in that very moment, but that's just me. All he has left in his life is literally his daughter. Aside from his daughter, all he has other than that is his revenge, right? Wouldn't you want to go see your daughter before you go and try to kill yourself again? Like, wouldn't that be something to consider? And then the whole old man situation, and then there's the whole VIP situation, so we still don't know everything about the VIPs. By the way, I thought that part was like super cool. Detective was literally my favorite part of the entire show, so I really hope he's not dead. Like, we didn't see a body, it's very possible he's still alive. Maybe he survived, maybe on an island, maybe something happened, I don't know, but I have a feeling he's still alive, and I really hope he stays alive, because he's literally one of the best characters in the whole show, aside from some of the other characters who are dead. Like, majority of the characters that we saw in the show are dead. All we have left is the protagonist, the VIPs, the brother of the detective, and that's the daughter, and that's really it. You know, everyone else is dead. Everyone that would matter in the show died, so all we have left is these characters. So please, for the love of God, bring the detective back, because the detective was part of what made that show, like, it's part of what made the show so stellar. That's how I feel about the show. I loved it. I know everyone else loved it. I loved it too. I'm really big into shows like this anyway. And overall, the characters were all pretty likable. Even the ones that you hated, you kind of liked. Like, I really hated the mob character guy, like the guy with the tattoos and everything. But I also liked him. And when he died, I was a little sad, even though he was a dick from start to finish. Like, the guy was like literally the definition of asshole. Like, even at the end, he couldn't accept that he couldn't be a human. He had to be like, I'm not going first. Someone else goes first in front of me with this glass stuff, which was just annoying, but at the same time, it really showed just what kind of character he is from start to finish. Like, he never changed in the games. No matter what happened, he never changed, which is amazing, because most characters did, but he was the one character that really stayed stubborn to his beliefs. And it's kind of funny because it all backfired on him anyway, and I love the way he died. I won't really go too far into how he died, but I'm very happy he died the way he did. I think it was just the perfect way for him to go. So excited for a second season. I hope they take as much time as they need to get this out. I hope they don't rush it. I hope they take their time. I'm sure they have plenty of budget to work with it now. They could probably make it even better, but they really did an amazing job for a show like this. Like, everything in it was just good. Like, everything was good. All the characters were enjoyable, all this stuff. So I really hope to see more of it. This is my cup of tea. Anyway, guys, that's really all I have today for my shows and reading and all the other stuff. I'm gonna be on vacation for a little bit, so I'll be gone, but I'm excited to come back when I do, and you know, start November out with you guys, so that's gonna be really exciting. But hey guys, thank you for watching, all that fun stuff. Thank you for all the support. I really appreciate you guys. Hope you guys are enjoying my channel as per usual. Please, comment and like and subscribe and all that fun stuff below. You guys are awesome. You guys have really been supportive. Please continue engaging the support. I'm here for you guys. You guys are here for me, obviously, so I hope that this back and forth thing is working out well and will be pretty solid. So yeah, guys, I'll see you guys in a future video of whatever it is I'm doing next. So peace out. Das vidania. See you guys next time, and have a wonderful beginning of your November. So Thanksgiving is coming around the corner, so enjoy Thanksgiving. Bye, guys. Bye.